The other unusual thing about me regarding my life in Los Angeles is I'm not a screenwriter, and I have no real deep interest in film work, except I have actually worked with Rila Eckstein on a collection of her films. And in a sense, I did write one of her films called French Toast, but even with that, I do not think of it as a career, and I have no interest in working in the film world in a career move. So I think that is, when I talk to other people, it's kind of strange because I'm the only one who's really not in the mainstream film world at all. And I pretty much live in an underground or underworld environment here in Los Angeles. And I do not participate in a lot of the Los Angeles events. I'm also quite unusual in a sense because I take public transportation throughout Los Angeles. I don't drive anymore. I don't have a car. So I have to sort of depend on the bus system, which is, in all honesty, kind of horrendous. But even with its horrendousness, it has a certain amount of charm to it. And riding on a bus in Los Angeles is so different from riding a bus in say, for instance, like Tokyo or London or Paris or even New York City. It's a very strange environment, and it's sort of a tomb of sort of, almost like a moving coffin. You sort of feel like you're a dead person on this bus with among other dead people going from one point to another point. And the fact that a lot of bus drivers pass you by while you're waiting for the bus makes you feel sort of unimportant and you're powerless. And in that sort of powerless, unimportant feeling, you sort of, I don't know, it sort of liberates me in a way. I feel kind of one with the masses in a sense, and sort of the underclass. And traditionally, the underclass always, at least to me, always seemed to be the most romantic class to be in. I would never want to be in the upper class because it's kind of horrendously boring. I don't want to be really in the poor class because that's horrendously boring and worrisome. But the underclass is, I'm okay with. I'm satisfied being part of the underclass. The crazy thing about my job, where I have two jobs, this is what my schedule is like. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. I work 40 hours a week. I work at a bookstore that's quite prominent in Los Angeles. It's a great bookstore. I bet people go to bookstores and people work at bookstores are basically insane people, including me. And it takes a special personality to work in retail and generally, because you're sort of an entertainer or performer. When I go to work at my bookstore, I think of myself as a performer performing in front of an audience. I think I'm performing in front of my coworkers as well as customers, of course. Because basically, a retail store is basically a theater piece. It's like a theater. And when the customer comes in, they're seeing a show of sorts. They're seeing a production. And I think a true shop, a true retail shop, should be operated in that sense. It should be a theatrical experience. As well, of course, a consumer demand where they purchase something with currency of some sort and they get something back and they take it home with them. But meanwhile, when they're there, they have to be entertained of some sort, or at least moved, or have some type of feeling. And I think the best type of feeling is sort of a theatrical context. That I find fascinating about my work as a retail person. When I'm not working in retail, I'm working as a publisher for Tom Tom Books, which is my company.